They never say it directly, but comparison is one of the first ways an Indian child learns that love might be conditional. Look at your cousin. She studies so well. He never argues. These lines sound normal to us, almost harmless, because we heard them growing up. But psychologically, comparison is one of the deepest wounds a child carries into adulthood without even realizing it. Why does being compared hurt so much? Because your brain interprets it as who you are isn't enough. I remember one of my teachers, Shalini Singh ma'am, explaining this so clearly. She said that comparison teaches the child to look at themselves from the outside, not from within. Instead of asking, "What do I enjoy?" the child starts asking, "What will others think?" That's the first crack in self-worth. In many Indian families, comparison is used as motivation. Parents think it will push the child to do better. But psychologically, it does the opposite. It triggers shame. Shame is different from guilt. Guilt says I made a mistake. Shame says I am the mistake. That feeling becomes the starting point of anxiety, perfectionism, people-pleasing, or even anger issues later in life. Some kids respond to comparison by overperforming. They become the perfectionists, the toppers, the responsible ones. On the outside, they look disciplined. On the inside, they're terrified of disappointing anyone. Every success feels like relief, not happiness. Every failure feels like the end of the world. They grow up thinking love has to be earned. Other kids react the opposite way. They shut down. They stop trying. Because what's the point? No matter what they do, someone will be better. This isn't laziness. It's learned helplessness, a psychological state where the brain gives up before even trying. One of my mentors, Indiresh Rao sir, said something powerful. When a child is compared too early, they stop believing improvement is possible. And then there are kids who become rebels. Not because they want to be bad, but because comparison makes them feel unseen. When no one notices your effort, you start seeking attention through behavior. Anger becomes a language. Attitude becomes a shield. The sad part is that comparison doesn't end when childhood ends. It follows you into your 20s. You look at someone your age getting married, settled, earning more, moving abroad, and suddenly you feel behind even if your path is completely different. It's the same childhood wound, just wearing adult clothes. So how do you heal something that started so early? The first step is awareness. Recognize that comparison wasn't a judgment of your worth, it was a reflection of your parents' fear. Fear of failure, fear of society, fear of not giving you a secure future. Most parents weren't trying to hurt you, they were repeating what they were taught. The second step is identity rebuilding. Ask yourself, what do I actually want? Not what your cousin wants, not what your parents praised, not what society celebrates. You, your interests, your pace, your values. This is where healing starts, choosing your path without the ghost of comparison sitting on your shoulder. And the third step is emotional boundaries. You are allowed to say, I don't like being compared. You are allowed to distance yourself from conversations that trigger old wounds. You're allowed to protect your mental space. Dr. Shraboni Nandi, who works with both children and adults, often says that boundaries aren't disrespect, they're self-respect. You weren't meant to live someone else's life. You weren't born to compete with your cousin, your classmate, or your neighbor. Your journey is yours alone. Comparison may have shaped your childhood, but it doesn't have to shape your future. The moment you stop measuring your worth through someone else's life, you take your power back. And that's when you finally start becoming who you were always meant to be.